Yeah, that's it. That's not a lot of redstone. I haven't turned the factory on for, I think, a couple of weeks now because I'm low on redstone and pretty much everything in here requires redstone. Season 10 has been kind of a struggle for me for redstone. We're now going to be, we've made 2 different farms pretty much just for redstone. It started off, we made this raid farm and it worked for, you know, a while. But then 121 came around and was like, hey, you know that raid farm you had? Yeah, we're gonna get and break that, which is fine. Raid farms were OP. They needed to be nerfed / destroyed, and I'm glad they did. And that's why I built this thing here with the 200 villagers and the hero of the village trading and everything. And it kind of worked. I got a lot of redstone in a short amount of time. The main problem is it only lasts as long as hero of the village lasts, and then you gotta like manually kind of manually get in there and find another raid leader and kill him again, everything. So that's all changed now. You got to do the potion now, so this could still work. But then they went and broke the boat in the minecart and or not the boat, the boat in the portal, and now the pushing and everything that I had perfectly set up here to push me in and out of this portal, that's broken. And I could take the time to fix this with like minecarts or something. But if I'm honest, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it because of the hero of the village. You can only farm the farm with the farm for only like 30 minutes, or what is it, 40 minutes? I don't know, something bad like that. So since they broke raid farms in 121, Mojang had some sympathy on us, and they upgraded the drops from witches. Witches now drop like a ton of redstone, like 4 to 8 redstone if you just kill them by natural causes, and 4 to I think 11 if you kill them with looting yourself. Either way, tons of redstone, and well, we got the purple and the green. We're gonna go do witchy stuff. So yeah, in 1.21, in my opinion, witch farms are the key. So we are going to build a witch farm today and get all the redstone. The only thing really to ask is what's better? What's better than building a witch farm in 1.21? And the answer to that would be building 2 witch farms in 1.21. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I found a spot here. Watch, check this out. I'm going to turn on a little sphere with mini HUD. Boom. This is a 128 radius sphere. So this right here will be my AFK spot. The sphere is centered on this location, and you can see it just gets both of the witch huts like in perfect range here. And I've already done quite a bit of the grunt work. I've lit up the surface. I mean, it's mostly water here. Oh, hi there, little witchy witch. But I've also lit up all the caves underneath the darkness that you're seeing. That's all waterlogged stuff, so witches can't spawn in there. And pretty much everything else in the sphere is lit up now, so we have nothing spawnable down here. Which means while I AFK up here, the only things that could spawn, in theory, if I do this right, are in the witch huts. We should get some pretty good rates. So I think I'm ready. Let's tear down these huts and let's put them to good use. And just like that, the first farm is done. The first thing I want to do now, I want to make sure that this thing works. So that should, let's go into cheaty cam here. We should be getting shifting floors here, and I'll go over how all this works in a second. I just want to make sure it works. We're gonna fly up to our AFK spot, and in theory, honestly, I just want to make sure something spawns on each of the floors. I'm always, every time I build a witch farm, I'm always paranoid that the witches, I'm gonna get the floors in the wrong direction or something. Let's see if we get anything spawning, and nothing so far. That makes me a little bit on the sad side. Hello? Hello? Okay, we got some witches down there. Wow, nothing? Seriously? Nothing. That's less than good. Oh, there goes a pack. I think that was the middle floor. Let's go back here and see. Okay, that was a top floor. Top floor. Fall. Okay, that's good. Oh, that was a bottom one. Okay, I think we're good. I think we've seen them spawn on all floors now, and we got a ton of witches down there. Excellent. Okay, that should help. I fixed up a lot of the lighting issues. I had quite a bit of light leaking in there, which is really going to slow down spawns. You can see now we're green, just barely green around all of the perimeter here, but inside you can see it's pretty much all red in there, so the witches will spawn in there perfectly now. This should make a big difference. Now, this design is by a YouTuber that goes by the name Stromne. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I will leave a link in the description. But even he says he didn't really invent anything, he just kind of brought a lot of ideas together. Obviously, the shifting floor design, I believe, was done originally by Mango, but it's really the heart of this, and it works just fantastic. If you haven't seen this before, the mobs can spawn on either the concrete or the soul sand. If they spawn on the concrete, when the floor shifts, they get pushed over to the soul sand, which is less than a full block tall, so they kind of sink down a little bit, and then when it shifts back to the concrete, it tries to put them back on top of the concrete, but it can't because their feet are already a little bit lower than the concrete, so it can't collide with that block, and they just fall through the floor. And they basically, as you saw, they just kind of spawn, fall, and then they're down off the spawn they're off the spawn pads in, you know, less than 4 or 5 seconds at most. Additionally, the stairs are there to improve pack spawning. Now, I'm definitely not an expert on the pack spawning algorithm, but I generally know how it works, and these blocks do not let light through, but they are not solid blocks, so they don't stop pack spawning. So basically, if a pack tries to spawn out here, the way pack spawning works is it kind of samples areas nearby, and it may eventually choose inside the witch farm. So that adds a little bit of an increase to witch spawning inside the farm there. Now that I'm watching this though, I think one of the customizations I might want to make this, I gotta check rates eventually, but I think one of the customizations would be to slow the clock down. I think the floors, like, they might be shifting too fast because I don't think witches or any mobs can spawn on a moving block, and it looks like a good 10-20% of the time those floors are spent moving, so that might be actually hurting rates, and I don't think we're gonna hit mob cap. I don't think we're gonna hit mob cap even with 2 farms, and if we're not, then that's all the more reason to slow this down, I think. But I also think witches can't spawn on top of other witches. In fact, I know that. So it's really just a question of how fast we get the witches out of there versus how much they start building up on the pads. But we'll have to tweak the values. So the next step is pretty much just to find a quick way to kill these witches. To be clear, I'm foregoing the benefits of looting. I don't think the benefits of looting are worth it, looking at the numbers of the drop rates, for the added difficulty of bringing the witches all the way up to the AFK spawn area and everything. With double witch farm, I think even with passive killing is going to get pretty much fantastic rates. So I think we're just going to find a way in here to have them fall into, I think, hi friends. Okay, so the witches drop into the waterway down this little side column here, and they drop right in there. So honestly, this should be pretty easy here. Let's see. If I put... we'll do, I think I want to do like a slab there. This will be the waterway out. I need water. All right, so we got a waterlogged slab, and then I think I'm just going to do that with a rail, and we got to put 24, I think it's 24 mine carts right on top of that rail there. Okay, 24 mine carts, and I think we're going to go glass. Let's see, there. Wait a minute. I gotta break that block that the mine carts are on. Please hold. Let's get a slab in there because I think they're gonna spray everywhere if I don't, and we'll do this now. This, excellent. Okay, they all fell down perfectly. I can break that now. Put a temp block back there. Put some stuff there, and skadoodle noodle. Okay, I know it's dark, but the witches spawn in here, fall down there onto the mine carts, immediately should die within like 2 or 3 ticks of entity cramming damage, and then we have a half block here. The mine carts can't fit down here, but the items will be able to, because they'll fall on the waterlogged half slab, and they'll go this way, and we're gonna have a little bubble vader to lift the items up here. And then I think once we get the other farm built over there, I might go through the trouble, in fact I know I will, of getting the items. We'll make a little water path over there. We'll make a central storage system, probably somewhere like a little platform on the ground over there or something. It'll take time, but it'll be worth having all the drops together. So test number 2 now is I want to make sure that the items are actually, the witches are going to die, and that the items are going to go into that spot where there would be the water elevator there. So let's see if we get some spawns. And what happens? Helps if I remove that torch. You can delete your comment. I know there was 1,000 comments telling me to remove the torch. Torch removed. It also helps if you turn the farm on. It works a little bit better that way. Okay, witches are spawning and falling in. Are they die? Please tell me you're gonna die. Die. Excellent with the death. Oh, maybe. Do I need? I think I need one more minecart in there, though. I know it's super dark. There's no way for me to light it up here. Oh, yeah, they're not dying until there's 3 in there. I gotta double check the entity cramming numbers. Maybe it's 27. Am I? I think I need more minecarts. Okay, it is now a few days later and things are working great, so I went ahead and finished it up. I made the other witch farm, and more importantly, we made this amazing lime green water tracking system to bring all the items in and up all the way to my AFK spot right here with full sorting system and all the skadoodles, and I am so happy. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I sound different or not, but there's probably a huge echo in my microphone. This is temporary. I painted my office and everything. The room is completely empty again, so everything is just reverberating all around the room, and everything is very echoey and stupid. Hello, tree frog. How does a frog get up in the tree? This is what I want to know. They can't spawn up here. Do they jump all the way from the, do they have like 9-foot vertical leaps here? What the heck? Anyways, guys, I am so happy I built this thing. It's working great. I love our little item tracking system here. The items flow down here from either direction. They merge right here and go up the bubble elevator. Now, the crazy thing about this farm is because we have 2 wish farms, we're actually getting redstone faster than hopper speed. So I had to do some like janky double hopper speed stuff back here to the crafter here. Items are coming in here. I mean, it's not right now because I just came up here. It's warming up. But items come in here like insanely fast. We're getting a block and then we're obviously auto blocking it. I've been AFK. I AFK'd while I was painting the office actually. And well, redstone's not a problem anymore. Of course, we have other supplies here too that make everything happy. And I decided sticks and sugar don't care about you. Meh. So honestly, watching this intake here is pretty crazy. We're getting a redstone block what seems like about every 2 to 3 seconds. And keep in mind, that's 9 redstone. Like this thing just absolutely cranks. We're getting way more than hopper speed redstone here, and this is just bonkers. So I think I'm gonna call this project complete, and we're gonna bring some of this stuff back to our base, and we're gonna kick this factory into high gear. And guys, I finally done it. It only took like 8 months, but I have organized my ender chest. We organized everything with categories and color coding, and look, it's a thing of beauty now. I actually have things in my ender chest that I can pull from whenever I need to, and it's just amazing. They all got the little inverted TT logo in the beginning, which I love, and I think that's pretty good. Some of them still need to be filled out, thanks Kiz. Some of them still need to be filled out, like flowers, and earthy needs a lot more stuff in it, but most of them are pretty full here. And then I've got 2 backpacks for like miscellaneous things that I need to pick up. Absolutely, like this is just gonna save me so much time now when I just need random resources. We also have the factory just absolutely cranking again. I think it's reached its final form here. We've increased the clock speed of item distribution, and we swapped out this minecart with this chest minecart right here, which allows us to do double hopper intake into this guy here. So we're just sending like a ton of items into each minecart. The minecarts are going out super fast. Items are being distributed incredibly quickly, and products. We'll just take a random sampling here. Probably coming in quite fast. Well, there's only 1 piston there. It's gonna make me a liar. Another piston, but there's times I'm sitting here and it's like the glass is just flying by, the rockets are just flying by, and it's making me a liar right now. It works fast, okay? Just trust me and stuff. Okay, we got work to do here. Today we are going to get a ton of redstone done on Hungry Hermits. And real quick, if you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, Hungry Hermits is a mini game I'm making here on Hermitcraft where it's kind of like my version of Plate Up Overcooked, where it's a restaurant game and customers will queue to come into our restaurant and the players have to serve them as fast as possible before time runs out or they lose. So today I hope to get quite a bit done here. here. Let's see, we're gonna get the queuing system done, which is actually a little bit complicated and interesting. We're gonna get the armor stand dressing system where we dress up the armor stands. We're gonna do the scheduling system, which like schedules how fast customers come in based on what day it is and all that stuff. The food selection process for like which armor stand, which is, you know, armor stand is the food, which one we're gonna, all kinds of stuff over here is gonna be done today. We gotta do the armor stand matching system to over there to test to see if they've submitted the right food for the match, and then the distribution system to determine which like table each customer is going to go into. There's going to be a lot of stuff here very soon. Big progress. Tons of new redstone here, and basically like 4 individual systems here that I'm going to briefly go over. And I'm honestly like, this stuff, I'm getting cold. It took me about a day and a half of working all through all this stuff to get it actually working the way I wanted to do what I want, and to kind of meet the features of the game that I want here. So starting over here on the end, we'll go through some of this, and then I'll show you some of the other systems as we work our way toward the restaurant, and then hopefully we'll show some of it working here. But basically this right here, all of this redstone soup, this is kind of the brains of the entire game. This does all of the customer scheduling and day tracking. Basically customer scheduling is the big thing. So remember, the game is broken up into days. So there's like, you start the whole game, but then within the game are multiple days. Each day you're gonna have a certain amount of customers you have to serve in your restaurant. When the day ends, if you've served all those restaurants before they lose patience, you'll get some rewards, you'll get some upgrades, and then you start the next day. And that next day is gonna be even harder and have more customers. So the way I've got it right now is I think we're gonna start with like 5 customers on day 1 and add 2 customers every day after that. And that's kind of what a lot of this is doing around here. We've got our fixed customer scheduler over there. They come in at a fixed time, but they don't just enter the restaurant, they go into like a queue, and then the queue has like further randomization on it. That way customers won't always come in at a very fixed, rigid time. Like it won't be every 30 seconds on the dot. They'll come in with some offsets to each one, and I think that'll be good, but the overall frequency of them will average out to be at a fixed rate. Over here we keep track of how many customers left for each day need to enter the restaurant, and how many customers have been are in the restaurant and are waiting to still be served. And when both of those are empty, that means the day is ending because they've successfully fed all the customers for that day. Now, there's a lot more going on here, but you know, let's face it, it's redstone soup, so yeah, we're gonna move on. This over here is another day tracker, which leads to determining what food the customer is going to want. So what I've got here is 8 dispensers, each representing the first 8 days of the game. After day 8, you'll stay on day 8 after that. But there's currently like 16 foods in the game. So what I'm going to do is distribute the foods along these so that like on day 1, you're getting all the easiest foods, like a bottle of water. You're going to have like a carrot, a beetroot, maybe some cooked chicken, like easy stuff like that. But by the time you get down to day 8, you've got the dreaded cake. You've got pumpkin pie. You've got beetroot soup. You just got all these other things that just take crazy complicated steps. So the game is going to very much get harder as it goes on, not only in adding customers, but also the food difficulty is going to ramp up significantly. So if I take this torch out right here temporarily, you'll see what we've basically got is a little tracker here that for every item I add in here, this represents 1 day. You'll see that redstone torch incrementing and basically powering the next dispenser in the line. So again, these are all going to be armor stands in here who are named after the food that they must serve, but we're going to hide the name at first, and only once the players take their order in the restaurant will it reveal the food that they actually want. But the armor stands are going to pop out into the water stream and flow down here into the customer decoration zone. This area is pretty cool. It's basically going to have chests and dispensers filled with leather chest armor, leather legs, and player heads, specifically hermit heads. So as it comes down, it's going to trip this pressure plate, and the dispensers are going to just perfectly time go 1, 2, 3, and randomly dress them in a random chest piece, a random legs, and a random head. The interesting thing is back here, I'm going to have an allay, and we're going to use allays for sorting. There's going to be an allay in each one of these cauldrons here, and I just got to get the the armor from previous sessions to be recycled. I just have to dump it into this water stream and it'll loop around here like this. And the allays will pick up, you know, if they're set to pick up player heads, they'll pick up all the player heads and they'll just be dropped immediately because they're close to this note block and they'll go into the appropriate chest. It's all actually pretty cool stuff. And then finally we have the customer queue. Remember, when we add a customer to the game, they're not really added to the restaurant, they're added to the queue here. Now, just as a reminder from inside the shop, this is the queue. You're gonna be able to see up till 6 incoming customers waiting outside, and only when there is an available seat will the customer actually be pushed off the end and then come in and pop up at a random seat in the restaurant. And by the way, I should mention that I think the game is going to start where the players only get 2 seats or 2 tables, if you will, and part of the upgrades is they'll have to pay to unlock more tables. Now, that doesn't, you know, the tables are still going to be here visible, but only 2 of them are going to be functioning. So if they pay to unlock another table, then another table will just, you know, suddenly start getting more customers. So 2, 3, all the way up to the 7 that we have. So if the game balance goes right, I think having a lot of tables is going to be very important because, you know, obviously customers are going to be queuing out here and their patience outside is very short compared to, you know, getting them in here. Once they're seated, you can take a while to serve them. As for the queue itself, I stole this from, I don't know if you guys remember Ethos Shady eShop from season 7. He did something like this where he had armor stands on carpet. And if you have an armor stand on carpet, its hitbox, this one's not over far enough, but will be just tall enough to hit a water stream and be pushed down the line. But what I've done differently is I've got a bunch of fence gates that will close and kind of lock them in the right position. I'll show you how it all works. So let's see if this is gonna work. I haven't tested any of it yet, but we've got one armor stand in the day 1 dispenser there. So let me just cheat by doing this, putting that back so the dispenser is out. And now he's gonna hit this pressure plate and go over the decoration center and get 1, 2, 3. We got a little skizzle man with the blue chest. He's gonna go down there and then let me see. He should drop down. Let's see what it looks like from over here. We'll see. He comes in the line and then should stop. Shit. I said he should stop. Oh, it helps if I put some items in the dropper there. Let's try this again. We queue the customer. We wait until we get to the decoration chamber. Boom, boom, boom. We've got ourselves a villager. And then now this guy should, if I'm not an idiot, he should stop right at the end there. And missing a torch. And the customer comes into the queue. Totally gonna work this time. 100% comp. There we go. Much better, much better. Okay, I'm not really crazy about how they kind of float down there instead. I might be able to fix that, but it's not the end of the world. So they'll queue up outside here, and then once a table opens up, meaning it's either the beginning of the day, or more likely we just fed a customer and a table becomes available, one will pop off the end, and then that exact customer wearing those exact clothes will appear at the open table. So I think there's going to be 2 losing situations, 2 ways you could lose the game. One, the first and obvious one is you don't feed a customer at a table in time. But I think I'm still debating here how I want to do this, but I think right now I'm leaning towards just the simple case of if you get more than 7 people, or sorry, more than 6 people in the queue, you lose. Game over. The line's too long waiting outside. Okay, it is the next day and 2 more major redstone systems are online now. We're making a ton of progress here today. This is the customer table chooser, I guess you could say. This determines which of the 7 tables the customer will take when they leave the queue. So basically when a customer enters the restaurant, a random table is chosen by and picked up by one of these sorters, which will lift up one of these trapdoors. We're gonna have like a water stream. In fact, I can just do that now. Water stream here. So the customers leaving the queue will pop up here, flow down this track, and then once we get to the trapdoor that is open, they will simply, gravity will let them fall through, and they'll fall down there into the boopificator and get boinged over and then popped up through the floor at the table in the restaurant. The best part about this thing is honestly the flexibility. Like, one of the upgrades that I plan to let the players buy is to add extra tables to the restaurant, and all I gotta do to do that is put another, I think I even have the system in here. Yeah, all of the tables, here we go. I got table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when the game starts, I'm just gonna power this twice, so that'll randomly choose 2 tables that'll be, you know, active in the game. And then if they buy the upgrade, I just got to power this again and add another table into the system, and it just works. And when the game's over, they all funnel right back. So that's the first system that we got online here. The second one one is this one down here, even a little bit more complicated. Hi, Skiz. Now, the idea for this one is when they feed the customers, the armor stand will fall all the way down here, land right there, and there's a little string there with a little observer action and some arrows. I gotta get the arrows. I got a bunch of arrows. Who's got a bunch of arrows, by the way? Who's got a mob farm that I can go steal arrows from? Anyway, an arrow will shoot the armor stand and break it, and all the items, so it'll be the armor stand, the leather, both sets of leather armor, the head, and the food that they had in the right hand of the guy. See, we got a guy right over there. He's demonstrating. Anyway, that's all going to break and get clustered up against the trapdoor, and that's there for a very specific reason, because I need all the items to bunch up together. The trapdoor opens, lets the items out, and they flow down here, and the items are aligned and go across two hoppers at the same time here. And this is a very interesting, like, little system I got here. So the idea is the items are perfectly stacked together, and on one side, I'm filtering armor stands, and so these are all the armor stand filters for like all the different food items, and then over here will be the actual food. So like, for instance, if you fed them a baked potato, there's going to be one filter that's going to pick up the baked potato armor stand, and the other filter that's actually going to pick up the baked potato. And if only if both of those get picked up at the exact same time, down here cauldrons lift up, magic happens, all kinds of stuff happens, and then this line will power saying, all right, we got a match, everything's good. And if we don't get that signal, well, game over. And the best part about this is also cake friendly. Yeah, that's right, I said cake friendly, meaning cake is normally not a sortable item because it doesn't stack. So we're going to use an allay here. And I found a way in a tileable one wide thing to get an allay collection system. We got to get an allay in the cauldron there. The music disc will keep him constantly alert so that when a cake goes by here, he'll pick it up and do the magic and all the rest happens. And it works just like any of the other sorters. So we got cake. Now, the good news with all this is we're actually at a state where things are almost kind of pseudo playable. I mean, we did a ton of redstone here today, but there's a few, unfortunately I'm out of time, and there's a few more things that we need to do to set up. Like I got to get a whole bunch of arrows. I got to hook up the queue system here to send the armor stands up to the top there. I got to do like return systems, and there's just a couple little more items and sorters that need to be filled and things like that. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to test it today, but next episode, I can promise you this game is not only going to be playable, I think it's going to be almost done. I mean, we got to do the rat system and the upgrade system, and that's kind of it. I know that sounds like there's probably a lot more than that than I'm, waving my hand over, but I feel like we're pretty close. We're doing good. And just a reminder, as always, I am streaming a lot of this stuff over on Twitch, and the VODs are uploaded on the second channel, Tango Tech 2. You want to get over there and watch the VODs, and we can do, hang out and watch some live creation of all this stuff, because it doesn't always go well. And here we are coming home to the factory, and we have mail. It seems the light is on. Property of her. Okay. What is this? What? Oh, I know what this is. All right. Hi, by Gemini Tay. Oh, wonderful. Greetings, your kindness. For those that don't know, Gem thinks I'm a pineapple for some reason. Yeah, this is. I sent you this DIY pineapple kit, which I'm hoping is pineapple. Oh, here's a pineapple joke I googled just for you. Oh, this is gonna be wonderful. What do you call a pineapple that plays the trumpet? Tutti frutti. Oh my gosh, how do you make a pineapple turnover? Roll it down the hill. Roll it down the hill, everybody. Are you enjoying these jokes, Tango? These are my best dad jokes. What do you call a pineapple that stepped on a Lego? A pineapple? A pineapple! I nailed it, yes! I'm done, sorry. Love Gem. Gem, I hate you and you're the best at the same time. Oh, that was definitely good. Thank you. We gotta return the mail. All right, that's a task for you. Leave me in the comments your dumbest joke for Gem. It's gotta be specifically tailored for Gem, and the best one I will mail back to her. Thank you. You know what? I'll play along. Back here in my little secret area here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plant the pineapple. There we go. We need a little bit of armor stand action and get the let's get the fern on top. Hold on, magic needs to happen. And slide the fern into position. Invisible, yes. There we go. We got ourselves a pineapple. And thus concludes our episode. Goodbye.